You're listening to the SS Experience on S&G.
All right, let's do it. What up, though? You're listening to the SS Experience streamed on the SMG Podcast Network app. Download the SMG Podcast Network app on all your Apple devices. Android, I'm getting to you. You can listen to the SS Experience wherever you get podcasts like Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Samsung Podcasts, and obviously the usual suspects, Spotify and the iHeartRadio app. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, re-rate, re-review, resubscribe, download, unsubscribe, subscribe again. That way the algorithm can think that we popping out here in these digital streets. Monday, it's a solo pod. Glad to be rocking with you. Good looking for listening. So a lot of stuff has been, man, the weekend was just so great in sports. I know we're not really much of a sports show, but we normally like to dibble and dabble in sports from pretty much from time to time. I got to do something with this mic stand. If you're watching on the video side on YouTube, it's like the mic stand is just in the way. I don't like it, for real, to be honest with you. But, you know, we got to make this thing work the way that we make this thing work. So it pretty much, you know, is what it is, though. Man, I didn't watch this game, and I didn't watch it because I kind of forgot about it. It's weird when the tournaments come around, right? Because you got the lower level conferences, not just D1, but you got lower level conferences like Conference USA, the Atlantic 10. Men's and women's, they're already going on now. Most of the men's tournaments isn't going to end until, this weekend. And what else? So it's just weird. You know what I mean? So I simply forgot that they was, I don't know why I'm like picking at my hair and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Shouldn't really be doing this on active camera while I'm doing a pod, but you know, I'm a regular person like everybody else, and I probably still didn't get what I'm picking out my hair, but it'd be all right though. So LSU, South Carolina women's team. Oh man, that was some, looking at the clips and the talk afterwards, man, you gotta love, you know, women's basketball around this time, or just in general. There are more popular women's college basketball players than men's college basketball players, and some can argue, which is a messed up argument, but a good argument nonetheless, that women in the WNBA are not as popular as a lot of these college women basketball players, which is crazy. I mean, they do make more money, give or take. Well, not even give or take, give, whatever. They make that bread. So who was fighting? Camelia Cardoso of South Carolina. They said she like 6'7". And you notice with women, they don't never mention their weight. Like when we were talking about, you know, Cam Newton, and we was like, man, Cam Newton like 6'6", 260. We don't never mention like a big chick. Like she's 6'7", but how many pounds? Like nobody never mentioned that. I know they say that, well, it's not polite to talk about, you know, a woman's weight and all of that stuff. I mean, she's an athlete. I mean, kind of goes with the territory a little bit. We can talk about her height, then we should be able to, you know, quote unquote, you know, talk about her weight. But like, you know, again, I don't know how much she weighs, and it's probably documented and stuff like that, but they just don't never mention it or whatever. So she pushes Flau'jae Johnson. Now, I didn't know Flau'jae Johnson was 5'10". I thought she was probably like 5'8" or something like that, but 5'8", 5'10" is really no difference, right? So now you watch the clips and stuff, you're like, dang, why she just push her like that? So if you go back and watch it, Flau'jae kind of, you know, gave like a little humble push to somebody or whatever. You know, nothing too crazy, nothing like that. It's just, you know, push, you know, a little, you know, like, you know, get it, whatever. And, you know, as a good teammate, you know, Camelia Cardoso pulled up on her and pushed her pretty hard. Like, not no flopping type stuff, like really, really pushed her hard. And Nobody knows how it stems or whatever, but what made the whole proceedings crazy was the fact that the coaches after these games, totally different messages. One coach said, "This is not good for our game. We're sorry for what you've seen, and we apologize." The other coach says, "I wish he would have pushed our bigger player, because you don't push anybody small like that." You can assume who said what. The first quote, the former, was Dawn Staley. The latter, which is kind of inciting violence, was Kim Mulkey. Oh, nobody likes Kim Mulkey. To be honest with you, I'm surprised her black players be playing for her. But I guess if you take politics out of, out of the business of the life, she might be actually cool. But I don't know. I can't be cool with somebody that would support politicians or people like that go against, kind of like what I got going on or whatever. You know what I mean? People want to support Trump, but Trump also supports neo-Nazis, the Proud Boys, KKK, and all of those other people to basically be racist in public. So as much as people want to say, and again, this isn't a Trump conversation, I'm just saying Kim Mulkey's politics and things like that kind of give her the Karen mode to say the things that she said. But going back to the game, though, I mean, it was again, stat watching and all of that stuff. It was a super good game. South Carolina might take it all once, I know they didn't take it last year because they lost to, I think they lost to Virginia Tech. Yeah, I think they lost to Virginia Tech in the Final Four. So, that kind of is what it is type stuff or whatever. But we're going to be moving along real quick because normally I promise you 40 to 45 minutes of your audio listening pleasure. Schedule changes and stuff like that. You see, I'm in the nice, I'm in the big house. You know what I'm saying? Massa let me use the big house. And when I say Massa, nobody did. I just basically just came in here and set up shop like I, timidly like to do. But something else I want to bring up real quick before I always talk about the sponsor, whatever. Did y'all know that Wendy's is about to do, and I want to pull this up real quick because I want to say exactly what it is. But they're doing a thing now where certain times of the day prices can be different. So if you go to Wendy's, let's say, during their peak lunch or their peak dinner time, y'all know what I'm talking about. When the drive-through line is extra long and it seemed like the person in front of you is ordering the whole damn store. And it's like, yo, motherfucker, hurry the fuck up. Know what I'm saying? Cats trying to eat out here. Stop trying to eat the whole goddamn store. Because they sit in them. You know how that shit goes. So, and again, I'm trying to pull this up because I had it up and then I did something else and then I lost it, whatever. But I don't know about that, to be honest with you. Now, a lot of, smart business people, they're saying that it could be a benefit because at the times where restaurants or Wendy's is slow, it may encourage more business during those hours because it's like, I'll give you this example, right? A lot of the hood spots that you may go to where they got, the Jamaican spot or, basically the Chinese spot, basically any of the hood spots around the way. They have the lunch menu, between 11 and 2, 12 and 3, or, anything like that. They will give you a discount on the food. Me personally, I get like 2 plates of whatever because I know those 2 plates now is going to cost just as much later. So I would definitely be all 100% in on that, straight up and down. So Wendy's, now the thing is with me and Wendy's is that I haven't even been to the only fast food that I really partake in, honestly, is Cookout. Because soon I shouldn't be messing with Cookout. Dynamic pricing. I just finally, pulled it up, whatever, found it. Dynamic pricing. So that's what it's called, dynamic pricing. So if you notice when you go to Wendy's and McDonald's and various spots, if you're a person of a certain age, you remember the regular old board, not on a screen or anything like that, just a regular board, with the menu not written up there, but kind of printed or something like that. So now you notice everything has screens. If you notice behind me right now, there's a 105.3 The Beat pictures, not picture. I'm about to say picture. It's on the TV screen, but it's a screen. It's like a banner that is there to liven up the spot a little bit. So because I was always thinking like, so what? How do y'all know when to change the price and what y'all gonna change the price to? Oh man, this is when we got good old AI, and I ain't talking about Iverson or Iguodala. Talking about that good old artificial intelligence. So they're gonna use artificial intelligence to determine the price at the time that you go. Which is, again, it's super duper weird, because if you are a person who got money, not got money like rich money, but got dollars, and that if I get this little combo right here is gonna cost me $835 total, $790 whatever, tax $799 plus tax, $835 total, whatever, and then you pull up and it's like, yeah, that's when it's about to be like $975. Like, yo, what the hell's up with the extra dollar 40, 50 increase? Oh, this is our dynamic pricing time. Prices are up around this time. So then one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to pay what you weigh and you're going to pay that extra buck, or you're going to be like, man, fuck it. I'll just come back when it joins for the low. So I don't know what to think about that for real. At the SS Experience, no E at the beginning of experience on Twitter or X, however you get down in these streets. Dynamic pricing at your fast food restaurants. Yeah, nah. Because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm like 100% out on dynamic pricing, because it's already worse enough that we got the inflation thing, right? And again, going back to my original thought before I found out, the reason why I don't really mess with fast food is because I'm old enough to remember when a double stack was 99 cents. That same double stack that you get in 2024 is like $2.99. It's the value of $3 items from the 90s or the 2000s, or at least some of the 2010s, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? And I look at that, and again, I can use McDonald's too. McDonald's, the Big Mac combo used to be $2.99. I look at that, and then I look at how much it is now. I'd be like, is it made different? Am I getting more beef? Am I getting more, like, why am I paying more money for a product that's exactly the same, right? Like, even when we talk about these new iPhones or whatever, iPhone 15, iPhone 16, that's a different product, so I can't really use that as an example. And again, just give me a minute off the top of my head to think about it real quick. But you just can't have random, and again, the excuse is that it works for Uber and it works for rideshare. And we all know if you use Uber and DoorDash and stuff, or Uber, Lyft and all of that, prime traffic costs more. Everything on chill, a little bit less. Late at night, a little bit more. So they're using that as the reasoning of, okay, well, let's go ahead and try this dynamic pricing with food. Let's see how that works. And like I said, Cookout is going to be a restaurant that I'm going to have to fall back from, because I remember when a Cookout tray used to be like $5.35, add the tax to it, it'd be like $6 or something like that, or $6 something like that. Some places it might still be $5, like the high fives, $5.95. Now a Cookout tray before anything is $7, like $7.30. Like, I think just last year I went to a Cookout, it was $7.50. So the inflation is already going up on fast food. Now, it reminds me of the old heads back in the day, your grandmoms, great grandmoms, or whatever. And they'll mention how bread was a nickel. A loaf of bread was a nickel. Be like, damn, like, the fuck? How, a loaf of bread was a nickel? Again, I go back to when I first started driving, legally or illegally, whatever. When I first got behind the wheel of a car. Well, no, I take that back. A little bit before then. Gas was 99 cents a gallon. If you went to like Zitco, Getty Mart, some of the not the Not the BPs, the Amicos, the Shells, or in some places, your Texacos, your Chevrons, and all of that stuff. You know, if you went to like the Getty Mart or 7-Eleven with the Zitco and all of that, racetrack, might get gas for 89 cents a gallon for the Reggie. So what a time to be alive to drive. $3 in your tank. You can actually move around for the whole entire day. You was great. Now it's not like that. So with inflation and dynamic pricing, I'm just not really all the way into it. Just saying. Just not really, much of my thing. Before we head out, or maybe if I can squeeze another topic in real quick, but before we head out, want to let you know about EJ Warriors Karate Academy. Support the people who support us, because we couldn't do this podcast 3 times a week if it wasn't for the sponsor. So help us, stay on to keep doing what we do, even though we could do it for free, but, we want to, have participation. So help us help you. So EJ Warriors Academy, you can apply at EJ Warriors Academy on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. or Saturdays 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. for enrollment. Now, I've told you before, if you don't believe what I'm talking about, check out Sensei's documentaries. The 10-time award-winning EJ Warriors and the 7-time award-winning EJ Warriors Part 2. They're both on Tubi, as well as Cineverse and Plex TV as well. Get that information on Sensei's IG, EJ Warriors Karate Academy, again, on IG. And help the sponsor, help the people who help us. He has a community event that's going down March 24th. It's a Sunday. Definitely make sure that you get the information to pull up on that as well. It's a free community event. You can get free training as well with the signing of a waiver. But we definitely want the children and the people to participate in the summer, spring camps, and the dojo classes that he has. And once you check out his work on Tubi, EJ Warriors and EJ Warriors Part 2, you'll see the dedication that he puts into his craft of martial arts. And yeah, you'll definitely get there. Columbus, Ohio, just to let you guys know, if you're in Columbus, Ohio, that's where it is. I know that we're a podcast. We're kind of getting big, little national, whatever. So Columbus, Ohio, make sure to pull up. And if you're not in Columbus, Ohio, still watch his documentaries. Good stuff. Text Sensei EJ, SENSEIEJ to 614-999-6361 to get additional information about his dojo, EJ Warriors Karate Academy. Let's get back to a little bit of show. Couple minutes left before we get out the door on a Monday. Thank you for rocking with me. So traffic sucks in Atlanta, or just in general, but traffic sucks. This is something that I dislike, right? There's there's a lot of shit I dislike about driving out here. One of the things that I dislike is braking or following distance. People in Atlanta do not know what proper following and braking distance is. I'm going to give you an example. If a person is driving in front of you and you see them hit their brake, oh, well, how do I know that they hit their brake? Their brake light will be flat. Their brake light will cut on. When that happens, slow down. A lot of people in Atlanta will just keep driving their normal pace, then get close to the car and wonder, why is this car not moving? They was hitting their brake. They were slowing down, probably about to make a turn. But being that you're not paying attention, you just drove straight, into them. And that's how, that rear ending things happen. Another thing that I dislike about traffic and driving in Atlanta is when you try to move over, especially how Atlanta traffic is. Like, I'll give you that example there. But when you're trying to move over, you're signaling to move over and then nobody lets you in. So then, being that they didn't let you in, you try to get yourself in, but you don't have enough room to get into the lane. So now you're half blocking the other lane that you just left from because the person saw you signaling to move over and wanted to be a douchebag and not let you move over. Little things like that, it makes, because in both of those scenarios, the first scenario is how accidents happen. The second scenario is how traffic get clogged, because you have a car that's trying to move over and they're driving slow. So that means the lane that they're currently in can't move because they're trying to move over, but the people in the lane where he or she is trying to move over to won't let them over. And it's not like you're going anywhere either. It'd be some time where, I'll give you another example. I'd be driving and I see that there's a red light or I see that there's traffic. I'm not enthused to drive as fast as I can to stop at a red light. So I might just cruise, be like, I'm just going to just roll there because I can't go nowhere. You can't drive through the cars. So if you can't drive through the cars, why are you so adamant to just hurry up and get to this red light or just hurry up and get to this dead still traffic? Like, I'll have a car like I said, I'd be cruising. They'll drive past and then be stopped at the light in front of me. And sometimes I want to like pull over to the side and do the Kermit the Frog meme where I just look at them like what are you doing? Like you did all of that to still go nowhere. And that's the thing about Atlanta traffic is because you can't go anywhere. It's really clogged up traffic. And I don't know what to tell you guys. It's just traffic. And again, traffic is bad in New York, Miami, LA, various places. And just because like you have a lot of cars, that doesn't mean traffic is bad. That means you're populated. What makes traffic bad is how people move or lack thereof. That's what makes traffic bad in that type of way. Just saying though. Just something to give you guys a little rant about. Today's pod not going to be as long as I normally would like it to be. But I might add some extra little audio on the back end of this joint. You know what I'm saying? For the video audience, because we haven't been getting the viewership on YouTube as we do on audio, which is kind of embarrassing a little bit because you go in the video and you see like a couple of views and you'd be like, oh, nobody watches this. But then you go to our audio streams is popping. So we're trying to give different variety of ways to consume the product. So again, make sure that you rate, review, subscribe, re-rate, re-review, resubscribe, especially on YouTube too, because obviously YouTube snitches and tells you straight up how many views, how many subscribers versus our audio products. We have to give you that information. So, especially on YouTube, rate, review, subscribe, re-rate, re-review, resubscribe, download, unsubscribe, do that process over and over and over again so the algorithm can think that we pop in, in these digital streets. Other than that, still booking a guest for Friday. Podcast crew is going to be here on Wednesday. And we're just going to keep, doing what it is that we do best. It's the SS Experience. I'll holla. Easy.
You're listening to the SS Experience on SMG.